everyone, welcome back. So sorry there's been a hiatus from me for a variety of different reasons, but I'm back, especially because I just heard about a freaking fantastic sale and I wanted to share, but I like to be honest with people and give people real information. So my goal today is to compare the Hydrow and the Concept 2 so you can decide if the Hydrow is the right rowing machine for you. I am a all-inclusive rower. Any rowing machine that gets you rowing is a win. I do not care if it's a Concept 2, a water rower, a Hydrow, a magnetic resistance one. It doesn't matter. Find something that you enjoy, that gets you moving, and it's a win. So let's dive in. First, disclaimer, I do not have a Hydrow. I have a Concept 2 rower, which you've seen in my videos. I've also used a water rower, but I have not used the Hydrow. So all of this is based on research that I have done over the past kind of year or two, as well as what I have heard from people who do have one, and when I asked questions, kind of getting more information for this. So I do not have this rower, so please just take that information in, and let's dive in. All right, so one of the big considerations that people look at when they're buying a rowing machine is, how big is it? Is it small? Is it big? Can I leave it out? Do I need to put it out of the way? Those are all really big things to consider. Now, if you live in a tiny little apartment, you probably need something that's gonna be where, hey, I can throw it under the bed or something like that. Whereas if you have a giant spot like this, I can do whatever I want with it. Magnetic rowers, often they're ones that have the two handles. There's also ones that have just the one handle, but magnetic rowers are usually a little bit smaller and more compact to be out of the way. So keep that in mind. The water rowers and air rowers like the Concept 2 usually are a bit bigger. Now, when it comes to the Concept 2, I can store it like this, out of the way, or I can take it, have it down like this as if you were rowing. Pretty easy to move. It's got the wheels on one side, and I just put it up out of the way. Another thing about the C2 is that it actually, right about here, it can split into two, so you can put it underneath the bed. Now, Hydrow does not split in two, so it stays as one giant machine. And two, the Hydrow by itself cannot go up like this. However, they do have a component that you can purchase, I believe, for an extra $69.99. Believe that's it as of filming right now in late 2022. So you can get something that allows you to be able to do that, but it is an extra fee. If you want to leave the rower out, let's talk about aesthetics. The Hydrow, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's aesthetically pleasing. The Concept 2 looks a bit more rugged, beefy, not something you might want to display in your living room, even though I did for a few years. So that's another component that you might want to consider. What it looks like and what storage requirements do you need for your rower to make it work for you and be in your household. All right, I wanted to add this in because it's important to note that I'm talking about the Hydrow original machine here. But there's also the Hydrow Wave, which as of right now, Black Friday, $150 discount, which is awesome. But I want to point out that it is 30% smaller and it does go up on its side. I believe without paying for an extra thing like you need to with the actual Hydrow. Both of them, there's also something you can purchase, like an anchor that will hold it to the wall. But if you're looking for something that's a little bit more compact, the Hydrow Wave is a great option. So something for you to consider. It also aesthetically is still amazing looking, and it comes in different colors. So if those are some things that are important to you, check out the Hydrow Wave as well. It doesn't split in two, so if you're trying to go under a bed, it might not work, but just something for you to be aware of. So since I also mentioned resistance, let's go into what are the different types of resistance for these machines. The Concept 2 is air resistance. When it comes to the Hydrow, it's actually kind of something new. So it's not magnetic, it's not water, even though its name is Hydrow, which has always gotten me. It's not air. It's actually computer-controlled electromagnetic. So what that means is it is constantly changing what its resistance is going to be. I believe it's like up to 240 times a second that it's changing. But it's a different type of resistance. It's supposed to mimic being on the water really, really well because it's smart. But up until now, or something that I'll talk about a little bit later, the Concept 2 has mimicked being on the water the best. So again, I haven't used the Hydrow, so I cannot say for certain, but I can say from people who row on the water and what they have found using the Hydrow, which I'll get into later. So stay tuned for that for sure, because I'm going to talk about it with mechanics and how it changes for your body. But something to consider is that the different type of resistance actually changes how quiet the rower is. And that's another huge component that people look at when they're looking at rowing machines. So when it comes to like the sound, a water rower gives you that whoosh, whoosh, and that may be amazing for you. If you like that and it makes you feel like you're on the water and you enjoy it, fantastic. My mom has one and loves it. This is air. It's a little bit louder. It's going to vroom, vroom. I don't know if that's not quite a vroom, but it's got a little bit of louder noise. The Hydrow, from what I've heard, is like silent. So if you live somewhere where you've got neighbors next to you or under you or whatnot, something to consider. If you want silence, the Hydrow, I think, is one of the winners for that one. Magnetics are also usually pretty quiet. In comparison between a magnetic and a Hydrow, I don't know, but I'm interested and want to find out. All right, so now that we've talked about how quiet or loud it is, what it looks like, storage capabilities, let's talk about the monitor. Now, a huge difference between the C2 and the Hydrow is the monitor. C2, it's small. It gives you the data you need. It gives you your strokes per minute, your pace, your time, your distance, your watts, your calories, all of those kinds of things and more. But it's giving you that information, and then you can connect it to like your phone or your iPad or tablet or something and kind of get more information. And you can use like erg data or other programs that will help you be engaged. Now, the Hydrow, it's built in. You got a 22-inch LCD screen, which is awesome. It's a touch screen. It's got tons of programs in there. It's got recordings and videos of like people rowing, and you're rowing with them, and you can hear the commentators giving feedback, which might help you with your form as you're rowing. All of those kinds of things. It's also, I believe, got yoga and mobility exercises, as well as like cross-training things. So it's giving you a ton of different workout exercise videos for you to be able to follow on and off the machine, apparently, which is pretty cool. But that is something to consider. Do you like and need that kind of engagement, or do you like watching the videos as you're rowing? What do you want to do? I personally just have my phone kind of in front of me like this on a little thing and watch whatever I want to watch. But if you are really need or want to have that kind of interactivity and it gets you rowing, fantastic, do it. Now, downside is that comes with a monthly fee. I believe it's $39.99 at the time of this recording, but it is a monthly subscription. So that is definitely something for you to consider, as well as the price tag. Now, the Hydrow is actually more expensive than the C2. The C2 is about $990. It depends on what model and what you're doing with the rowing machine. But the Hydrow is like double that. It's $22.45 plus your monthly fee. And that's a lot of money. And I think 36, it might be $38. I'm not entirely sure. Apparently I should have written that down for myself. Anyways, so don't quote me. But that is definitely something to consider. Now, there is a sale with the link below right now for Black Friday where it's $500 off the Hydrow. I've never seen this sale for them, which is awesome. So it's $500 off, and you get like the free mat that goes underneath it. And then they have a new one that's the Wave that looks a little bit different as well. And that one I think is $150 off. So just something for you to kind of consider. And again, links are below. UK and US have the sale, which is awesome. But the price is a big difference. So C2, cheaper, $990, but the Hydrow gets you a cool screen with a bunch of videos and exercises, but you also have the monthly price tag. So totally up to you and what works. If it engages you for rowing, awesome. So another quick thing to note is the Hydrow Wave
actually has a smaller screen. So something to consider, just FYI, their screen is 16 inches, which fits the more compact feel of the Hydrow Wave. So just wanted to throw that in there.
All right, so as you know, I'm a larger rower, and that is one of the things I talk about on my channel. So I cannot ignore that there is a weight restriction difference between these two machines. So if this is important to you, then it's a big thing. So the Hydrow has a lower weight capability than the Concept 2. So the Concept 2 can hold up to 500 pounds. Whereas the restriction for the Hydrow is 375 pounds. So if you fall into that range and that's important to you, that might make your decision, but FYI, that is something for you to be aware of. All right, and then the last thing before I get into my physical therapy movement concepts with these machines, which I really want to mention because no one else is talking about it. Another really important thing is if you are somebody who competes or rows on the water, hands down, I recommend the C2 because the numbers on the Concept 2 actually transfer extremely well to the numbers when you're rowing. So if you are somebody competing, if you are and you want to go onto those C2 leaderboards, you cannot do that from another machine. Or if you're going to go to a competition like Crash Bees or something like that, if you row on the water, the Concept 2 is also going to give you more comparable numbers for what's going to happen when you're in a boat on the water. Now, that's just been the case with Concept 2 versus all the other machines. That's one of its selling points. Also, if you're a CrossFitter and you want to compare workouts you did in the gym versus workouts you're doing at home or something like that, that's something for you to consider. So if the numbers are big for you, pay attention. If you don't care and you don't mind rowing on a C2 in the CrossFit gym and rowing on your Hydrow at home, fantastic, do it. Again, anything that gets you rowing, I am happy with. All right, so now on to the movement components. Now there's two big differences between the rowing machine, the C2 and the Hydrow. One, this one I can only really tell from pictures because I haven't been able to get this measurement from anyone. So if I get this measurement, I will do either a little comment or a new video or something for y'all. But one of the things that I notice is it actually looks like the feet position is lower. Now, it's not the end of the world. Actually, if you have mobility restrictions, that might actually be helping you. And I'm gonna actually do an entire video on that. I got a bunch of seat pads that I'm gonna do a video comparing the seat pads, but I need about another month of rowing on them to really be able to give you guys like real information on it. But I'm gonna do a whole video comparing the seat pads and talking about how height changes things when you're on the rowing machine. So your feet being lower actually requires a different amount of mobility in different joints. So depending on if you have some restrictions, the Hydrow, it looks like the feet are a little bit lower, not the end of the world, and it happens on other rowing machines too, just something for you to be aware of. Two, and again, I'll go into that more when I can really demo it.
I also want to point out that it's possible that it's the same or that it's even higher. So I don't actually know the answer to this one. It's just something that I wanted to mention. From pictures that I've seen, it's always looked a tiny bit lower, but who knows? So just something to keep in mind.
Number two is I've heard this from people who row on the water and have a Hydrow, and this is where I'm getting that information. So again, I don't have one, so I cannot say for certain. But one of the big things is if you are prone to wrist, hand, elbow, or shoulder things going on when you're on the rowing machine, the Hydrow may not be the most beneficial for you. Apparently, as you're rowing, so when you're rowing like on an air rower or a water rower, not a magnetic one, because magnetic does the same thing as the Hydrow, or if you're rowing on the water, you'll notice at the very, very front at the catch position, you'll have like it's a little bit more of like a tight, my oar went in the water and there's some resistance there, like I need to get through that. But then as you move through the stroke and you get closer and closer to your body, you really, once you're like doing just the arms in part, there's really like no resistance being felt on your hands or your arms. On the Hydrow, it actually keeps your, and magnetic rowers do this as well, it keeps that resistance longer. So as you're coming in, you actually have to use your arms a little bit more than you do on a water rower or the Concept 2 with an air rower. So if you're prone to kind of overusing your arms already, it's probably going to exacerbate that. And that's just something to consider. So if you're prone to kind of doing that, either one, be very aware of it and really try and relax it a little bit more and work on your form for that, or choose another rower. So all that being said, the Hydrow is a fantastic choice. Any rower is a fantastic choice. You just need to find ones that meet your needs and what you want. So if the screen and the beautifulness of it and having it be able to be a landmark in your living room or in a room in your house or something, or having it be super, super quiet, if those are some of those things that you need, the Hydrow is freaking fantastic. Yes, absolutely, and please get this deal because $500 off, I'm like, I actually debated getting one and was like, I just don't have room. Like I finally just put my rower up on its side because I'm expanding my gym. And I was like, I don't have room for 2 rowers, but even I debated getting one for this reason. And to give you guys even better information and have variety. Sometimes I want videos like that. But yeah, something to consider. So really find a rower that works for you. I hope that this helps some of you out. Check out the links below in the description if you're interested. Again, it's only for Black Friday, so the sale's like nowish through Friday, I believe. So keep that in mind. But next video will probably be coming out soon, I hope. A little bit of travel for the holidays, but I've got some already recorded. And yeah, so I'm also going to be doing some strength exercises as well as mobility because I've gotten a lot of questions on things you can do off the rowing machine. So definitely gonna be ramping up some of those videos for y'all. I've just had to take a rowing hiatus for some health stuff. So I apologize for not really being on the rower and doing too much with that. Anyways, I hope that this is helpful. Please, if you've got questions, leave them below, hit that subscribe button. It helps people find my little channel, and I hope that this was a honest and helpful review. Again, I don't own the Hydrow, so take it with a grain of salt if you want, but those are the things that I found from my research and figured I'd put it all in one spot for you. All right, have a great one, everyone. Bye.